Chapter 9.4, Day 1, Solving using the quadratic formula. Warm up. Plug a, b, and c into this formula, that is square root of b square minus 4ac, and simplify. Warm up problem number 1. The formula is b square minus 4ac, and we have b as -6, so -6 square minus 4 times a times c. So what you got here is -6 square is 36. So 36 minus 4 times 3 is 12 times 2, 24. And 36 minus 24 is square root 12. You can further solve square root or break this down as 4 times 3, where you have a square root of 4, that is 2. So the square root of 4 comes out. So you're going to have answer as 2. But square root of 3 remains inside of the radical symbol. So your answer is 2 square root 3. Next, you're going to plug it in the a, b, c into the same formula, b square minus 4ac. And you're going to get here is 4 square minus 4 times -2 times 7. And what you got is 16. -4 times -2 is +8 times 7. That is going to be 56. And 16 plus 56 is 72. Now you're going to break 72 as 36 times 2. You can break 72 in any way, but we are going to break it down 36 times 2 because we have a square root of 36, and then the square root of 36 is 6, which comes out of the radical symbol, and square root of 2 inside the radical symbol. So your answer is 6 times square root 2. For the next one, you're going to use, again, the formula is b square minus 4ac. And that's going to be 6 square minus 4 times 1 times 4. You got here is 36 minus 16. And that's going to give you 20. Break down the 20 as 4 times 5, where the square root of 4 is 2, that comes out of the radical symbol, and the square root of 5 remain inside. So the answer is 2 times square root 5. Key idea to solve a quadratic equation. We can find the real solutions of the quadratic equation ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0 by using the formula x equals -b plus or minus b square minus 4ac square root all over 2a, where a is not equal to 0 and b square minus 4ac is greater than equal to 0. This is called the quadratic formula. We use this formula already on the examples up here and solve. We are going to copy the quadratic formula one more time so that we know that this is the formula we are going to use in order to solve the quadratic equation. And this formula is called quadratic formula. Practice substituting into the quadratic formula. Directions. For each function or equation, write the quadratic formula and plug in a, b, and c. Make sure you set each function equation to 0 first. So this is the function right now. In order to solve this, we are going to set this equation equal to 0. So x squared plus 6x plus 8 equals 0. Now the next step is to recognize what is a, b, and c. So here, if you look at this equation, you're going to have a as 1, b is going to be 6, and c is 8. So b is 6 and c is 8. Now the formula is x equals negative b plus or minus b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. So if I plug it in, I got here is negative 6 plus or minus 6 square minus 4 times 1 times 8 divided by 2 times 1. Now you can see that we plugged it into the formula, the a, b, and c, but we did not solve it because we are just practicing plugging in into the formula. For the next one, we are going to do the same thing. We are going to make this equation equals to 0, equal to 0. A is 3, B is negative 5, and C is 10. Where are you going to have the formula? Negative B plus or minus B square minus 4AC all over 2A. Plugging in the values here, so you're going to get here is negative 5. So I always write a bracket. For the reason is that if it's a negative sign, you can use the bracket and it's helpful to solve. So negative b squared minus 4ac divided by 2 times 3. So I wrote it here is negative b in a bracket, b square, a in a bracket, and c in a bracket, and that helps when it's a negative sign to plug it in into the bracket. Next we are going to do is P3 practice 3 problem, and first of all we are going to make that equal to 0. A is 8, B is negative 7, and C is negative 3. The formula is negative B, which is negative 7, plus or minus B square, that is negative 7 square, minus 4AC all over 2 times A, which is 2 times 8. Now you're going to do the next one, where you're going to put the 5x squared minus 2x minus 4 equal to 0. A is 5, B is negative 2, and C is negative 4. X equals negative B plus or minus B squared minus 4AC divided by 2A, so 2 times 5. Example number 1, solving a quadratic equation using quadratic formula. Step number 1, if this is written in a function form, then put that equal to 0. But in this case, this equation is already into an equation form, which is equal to 0 is already there. All you have to do is do the step number 2. So we can say on here that it's already in equation form. So recognize A, that is going to be 2, B is negative 5, and C is 3. Try to write the formula every time you do this problem. X equals negative B plus or minus B squared minus 4AC divided by 2 times A. When you plug it in, you're going to get here is negative 5 plus or minus negative 5 square minus 4 times 2 times 3 divided by 2 times 2, and you got here is 5 plus or minus square root of 25 minus 4 times 2 is 8 times 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 3 is 24, so 24, and on the bottom you have 4. So this is going to be plus or minus 5 plus or minus square root of 1 divided by 4. Now, what is the square root of 1? So you know that the square root of 1 is 1. So you're going to solve this. So after this step, I'm going to go here and do the solution part. 5 plus or minus 1 divided by 4. So you're going to have two solutions for x. One is 5 plus 1 over 4, and the other one is 5 minus 1 over 4. So what you got here is 6 divided by 4 and 4 divided by 4. So the x values are going to be 3 over 2, comma 1. Because when you reduce 6 divided by 4, you're going to get 3 over 2, and 4 divided by 4 is 1. So for the checking part, you're going to use this x value. So I'm going to use x equals 1 here. So 2 times 1 square minus 5 times 1 plus 3 equals 0. So when you solve this side, it should be equal to 0. So let's say if we get the 0 or not. So this is going to be 2 minus 5 plus 3 equals 0. And that's going to be negative 3 plus 3 equals 0, which is true. Now you're going to use x equals 3 over 2 and see if this is a solution. So 2 times 3 over 2 square minus 5 3 over 2 plus 3 equals 0. In this case, you're going to get here is 9 over 2, 9 over 4. And this one is 15 over 2 plus 3 equals 0. Okay, this one should not be square anymore because we solved the square already. So this is going to be 18 over 4. In other words, you can reduce the 2 and 4. So 2 cancel, on the bottom you left with 2. So you're going to cancel this, and you left with 2 on the bottom. So that's going to be 9 over 2, and this is going to be 15 over 2. And the next one, you can make this 2 times multiply and divide. You're going to get here is 6 over 2. So that's going to be negative 6 over 2 plus 6 over 2. Cancel, 0 equals 0, which is true. So both the x values, when you plug it in into the equation, give you a true answer. It means they are the solutions of this problem. You try problem number 1, 2, and 3. Make sure you always write the formula so that you can get some practice of writing and memorizing this formula. So for question number 1, I list the A as 1, B as negative 6, and C as 5. And I plugged it into the formula negative B. Since there is a negative from the formula and one negative from the B is going to make it positive 6. So negative times negative 6 plus or minus negative 6 squared, B squared, minus 4A times C. So this is going to be positive 6 plus or minus square of negative 6 is 36. 4 times 1 times 5 is 20. 36 minus 20 is 16. So you got here is 6 plus or minus square root of 16, that is 4, divided by 2. Now you have two equation or two numbers from here. That's going to be x equals 6 plus 4 divided by 2 and x minus 4 divided by 2, so that you have two solution. In this one you got 10 over 2, here you got 2 over 2. So the two answers is 10 divided by 2 is 5 and 2 divided by 2 is 1. So x equals 5 comma 1. Next is number 2, where a is 4, b is 1 and c is negative 3. X equals negative b plus or minus b square minus 4 times a times c. 4 times a times c. So that is negative 1 plus or minus 1 plus 48. So negative times negative is positive. And you got square root 49. Square root of 49 is 7. So you got two equations. Negative 1 plus 7 over 8 and negative 1 minus 7 over 8. So this equation gives you 6 over 8 when you reduce 6 over 8 by 4. So they both can be reduced by 2. You got 3 on the top and 4 on the bottom. And in this one you got negative 1. So these are the two answers. For number 3, A is negative 6, B is 7 and C is negative 2. I rewrote the formula with the brackets around every letter, where you're going to plug it in. B is 7 and A is negative 6 and C is negative 2. So negative 7 plus or minus 7 square minus 4 times negative 6 times negative 2 divided by 2 times negative 6. 7 square is 49 and you have negative, negative, negative. There are three negatives, so it's going to make a negative. 6 times 4 is 24 times 2 is 48. And that gives you square root 1. So negative 7 plus or minus 1 divided by negative 12. You have two equations. One with the positive sign, so negative 7 plus 1 divided by negative 12. Negative 7 minus 1 divided by negative 12. So you got here is negative 6, negative 12. That can be reduced as 1 over 2 because 6 divided by 12. You can reduce it by 6. Negative 8 divided by negative 12. You can reduce these two by 4. So you got 2 on the top and 3 on the bottom. So the two answers are 1 over 2 and 2 over 3.